Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter likes books, because I do, I love books. And I'm leaving Starbucks. Just went through Starbucks and reviewed the Pina Colada Frappuccino. And now I'm running to the post office. My hands are kind of sticky from all of that. I have the Island Margarita from Bath & Body Works. Alex's friend Sarah got this for me because it's like my favorite. Oh, I'm out. I gotta go get some more. She had it one night and I was like, oh my God, that smells so good. So I wanted some of it, so then I went and got some of this. Okay, you guys, let me just tell you, Peter is not doing so great on the Reading Rush vlogs, okay? I have a question, first of all, okay? Here's my question, is that I was catching up on some of Books and Lala's videos. I love KLF and Books and Lala, but anyway. Can we just talk for a second? She gets like 50,000 views on a TBR. What? No, Tati, no. What? I mean, I love her videos, but there are 40,000 people out there watching a TBR. I was like floored when I saw that. I was like, good for Kayla. I am so happy for her. I could not believe it. Like, her channel has really like grown in size in the last year. And let me just tell you, she deserves it. And I also want to tell you something else that I love about her. If you have never watched Books and Lala, go check her out. She's fantastic. But I want to tell you something about her that I absolutely love, is that she's never steered away from doing like the mainstays of BookTube. And it makes me so happy. Like, she still does TBRs. She still does monthly wrap-ups. She still does like a lot of readathons. She does like hauls. She does like all of the mainstay videos that you do, like when you, like, I think that most of us think that we're getting on BookTube to do. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that we like to watch that we get on BookTube for. At least that's my experience. I don't know. I guess I can only speak of my experience. So I'm so excited that she has continued to do that. Just those like mainstays of BookTube, and that she's getting major views on it, you know? Like, it shows that people love to read, they love her personality, and that you can grow a YouTube channel doing anything that you want to do, like anything out there if you're passionate about it or you love it enough. And she's never really compromised herself. She's always kind of like stuck to what she does and what she loves. And I love that so much, because those are the things of BookTube that I love. Now, I will tell you, she does do a lot of, she has a lot of discussions in her videos. Like recently, she's been talking a lot about, well, she didn't make videos for 5 weeks, and then she came back. But, you know, she talks a lot about, like, Black Lives Matter and the importance of, like, reading Black authors. And she talks in there about, like, buying from Black-owned bookstores and things like that. In the Reading Rush TBR, and then the Read-a-thon, I think is how you pronounce it. But anyway, I just love her so much. So I don't know, she's probably not watching this, but she watches my videos every once in a while and comments on them. But if you're watching it, you know I love you so much. And I just think you're such a bright spot on BookTube. There's not like a lot of dark spaces. I mean, you know I do beauty drama on my Peter Monn channel. There's a lot of people in dark places. They need to turn a lamp on, in all honesty, or live their life with a flashlight, because they're always in a dark place. But on BookTube, it's a lot of happiness. And I don't know, I think, like, for me, doing the Reading Rush this week has just it took me 6 days to get into the Reading Rush, to call it the Reading Rush, not BookTube-a-thon. But it just makes me so happy to, like, be able to be part of this community, you know? And I just love it so much. But I will say this, you guys, I knew this was gonna happen. I just was like, I was trudging along so well. I was reading. I was like, I'm gonna get all of my books done this week. I was like, I cannot believe it. And now it's the night before it's gonna be over, and I haven't even finished my 4th book, because I started reading this stupid shark book, and I'm so slowed down about it. But now I have to tell you what's happened. Okay, so I have like 6 hours left of the shark book, which I plan to finish today, because I listened to it at 2 times speed, so that's 3 hours for me. Okay, the shark book, it's called Thresher. Now they've developed these characters, and really it's really just the lives of these characters told around this shark story of this thresher shark that's attacking this town. I mean, the story is really about the thresher shark, but it really isn't. Like, you can tell the author really just wants to write about these people. I don't know if he maybe, like, I don't know if he, like, convinced himself otherwise, but it's really, he just wants to write about these people. And the thing that's really kind of sad about it, and this is where sometimes I feel like authors miss their mark. So the story, like I was telling you guys yesterday, it kind of got more developed. Yesterday, I just thought it was, like, total cornball central. But today, I'm, like, really into it. And if you took the shark out of it, like, it's really about this guy, this alcoholic police officer whose wife took her life because he was always on the job trying to, well, that's at least what they assume, because he was always gone trying to infiltrate this mob, right? And then his friend, who retires to, like, this small town to be, like, the police chief there, like, he fires him before he moves because the only way that he's going to save his life, because he's afraid he's going to drink himself to death, is by moving him down to Florida, and he knows he has no other options. And then there's this young police officer, this police gal, like Eileen Wuornos, and she is, like, taking care of her sister, which that whole part I don't really understand, like, why they needed to make her life story tragic. And I will say this, like, it's not the most well-written story, okay? Like, I mean, it could use a lot, like, on prose and things like that. But I'm sitting there reading it, and I'm now, to be honest with you, really more and then there's, like, this research guy, like, and he's very much like, what's his name from the Jaws movie? I can't think of his name. But he has a crush on this young, I'm just calling her police gal because Eileen Wuornos said police gal, police woman, and she's, like, this real likable character that sees, like, the good in everybody, and she, like, hasn't given up on the world, and it's all these people around her that have kind of, like, given up on the world, even though they live in, like, this beautiful area, and she's, like, this one bright spot, and it's just kind of such a cool story. Like, you wouldn't even really need the shark attacks in there, and to be honest with you, at this point, they're kind of distracting to me. Like, it kind of distracts away from the story, and, you know, I think this is, like, where good editors, good literary agents really help with authors to say, what is really the story that you want to tell? Because, you know, like, okay, if you have heard the story of, like, how To Kill a Mockingbird came around, and supposedly it came from Go Set a Watchman, okay? I am not convinced of that, just between you and I. I believe the books were written to be two separate books. That's just my belief. They read as a, Go Set a Watchman reads as a sequel. It just does. And, unless she worked on it before it got released, but I just don't, okay, so supposedly she wrote Go Set a Watchman, or part of To Kill I think she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and her editor said, go back and, no, this is the story. It didn't come from Go Set a Watchman, but it was supposed to be one big part of a bigger piece or something like that, and she had written the whole thing as, like, these flashbacks, like these memory flashbacks to, like, when Jean Louise was older. And her editor told her to just write it from a child's point of view. Well, when you read Go Set a Watchman, it makes sense because there's a lot of flashbacks to when they were kids in there. There's this whole scene when they do this church revival. It's, like, this hilarious part of the book. And so you can understand that, yes, like, maybe she did do that with To Kill a Mockingbird originally, and then he told her to, like, scrap all of that. I think that's where, like, sometimes, like, a good editor or agent will look at what you're reading and say, like, this doesn't work. Because what I would say to this author is, you actually, if you had really honed in your writing skills, this Michael Cole guy, if you had really honed in on your writing skills, like, you have a beautiful piece of literary fiction here. I mean, you really have some depth to these characters and these stories. If you took the shark out of it, like, it would really, like, the Jaws analogy would be completely just thrown out the window because nobody would even think of it anyway. And you don't need it. You don't need the sharks in here to tell the story, which is really about this Reichert guy who is killing himself slowly with alcohol. And it's actually kind of like a tragically beautiful story, but it's just not written great is part of the problem. But the characters and stuff are great. I don't know. Do you ever do that? Do you ever read a book and you're like, what is the story that the author really wants to be telling here? You know, like, because I don't feel like this is it. Or then you'll read a book that's like so tightly woven, like I just did with the guest list. Like, this book doesn't feel fully realized to me, but it's whatever. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Like, right now, I'd probably give it, I mean, it was heading down the track of getting a 2 or a 1. I would say right now it's at a solid 3.5. Like, it probably won't make it to a 4 for me, but, and that's just because the writing is not great and stuff like that. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Clue, I haven't read anymore. Life as We Knew It, I haven't read anymore. And I got to get this book done because I have to finish The Fisherman in 1 day, which is like a 12-hour book, which is not going to happen. But, oh my Lord, what did I do to myself? But anyway, I so wanted to like complete the reading rush this year. I don't know. I guess I could like, you know, change up my TBR at the last minute just so I could actually get 7 books in, but I'm not going to do that. But anyway, all right, you guys, I'm going to get off here now, and I will be back tomorrow for day 7 of the reading rush, and then on Monday, I will do my full reading rush wrap up. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.